Hi, Tanya.
Hey, how's it going?
It's going so well. So happy almost New Year. We're here on Christmas Eve right now because I had something to talk about and I wanted to have Tanya on as a co-host for this talk because I knew it was something she would be all on board about, and she would also be the perfect co-host to throw questions at me to either explain it better or interpret it for all of our listeners here today. Tanya, you're up for that.
I'm up for it.
I'm happy to hear that. Today's talk is about the afterlife in a different form. Tanya and I have spoken a little bit about the flash dreams that I have had in the past, and I coined them flash dreams. What they are is just as I wake up in the morning when I'm still mostly asleep, I will get very quick images behind my eyes with my eyes closed. Images, sometimes they're black and white, sometimes they're people, sometimes they're scenes or places. One time it was Debbie Reynolds, constant flash of Debbie Reynolds' face. And Tanya and I have spoken about this, but we really never came to the direct conclusion about what it is. Would that be correct, Tanya?
Yeah, I don't think we ever pinpointed it.
So I had another one just the other day. And as I've had probably 8 or 9 of these in the past couple of years, I've learned to slow them down through my wording in my head with spirit, or I can only assume at that moment spirit's doing it. I've learned to slow it down, and I've learned to ask questions about the images they're using. This thing that I want to talk about today has flash dreams involved, has the awareness of thought involved, has passing into the non-physical world involved, and the sound of Om. Tanya's eyes just lit up and went, I wonder.
I
So
have no
let's,
idea what you're going to say,
I,
so I haven't heard this yet.
and that's what I love about me. The Om sign, the Om word, the Om chant, I'm going to start with. When I started yoga over 20 years ago, the word Om, obviously we chanted it a lot. And at some point I must have Googled or someone said to me, and this is what I kept in my thoughts through all these years, is a Sanskrit word. And what it is the sound of all sounds coming together up in the universe, oneness, whatever you want to call it, into one sound. The sound of all sounds. I took that as us as humans speaking, any vibrations in the planetary realms coming together as a vibration. What do you think of that, Tanya? The Sanskrit chant Om.
Yeah, I mean, I know it to be the primordial sound of the universe, the original sound.
Yes, 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 yes. Yes. Okay, so about 5 days before I had this most recent flash dream, I was doing a reading with my client's father in the world of spirit. And he was coming through with some, I can't wait to share, but it won't be till January, some wonderful things about thought in the world of spirit. And he said to me, Donna, I could have a million thoughts in my head. And he was saying that, trying to relate to the physical world, the human world. I could have a million thoughts in my head, but only aware of one. And I was saying, well, that sounds pretty cool, so what are you saying? All of these thoughts are with you right now? He said, yes, it's like I hear all of you, but I have the ability to zone in on only one. And that could be my own or someone else's. Kind of like that movie where Jim Carrey was given the ability to be God, and he was hearing everybody's prayers in his head, and he didn't know how to handle that. And that's the way I took what this loved one was telling me. Does that make sense to you, Tania?
Mhm. Yeah.
Okay, so now we have this visual that I've created in my head of thoughts swimming around me, but only being aware of one. And I'm thinking, well, that must be very peaceful, right? Would you agree? Only one, singling out to one thought. The monkey mind zeroed in on only one thought. So here comes the flash dream. And the flash dream I'm having is faces of people, many different ages. Some are old, some are young, some are middle-aged. So while this is happening, I'm asking Spirit, slow it down. Slow it down. So I'm able to see now more faces instead of quick faces. I'm seeing the face. And the face is doing something. It's either, playing a sport, watching TV. It just seems like that person that I'm viewing, whatever it is doing something. It's everyday life. Nothing big. Nobody I recognize. Then I asked in my head, who are these people? And Spirit said, these are the souls that are crossing right at this moment. And in that flash dream, in that state, when they said that, I saw all of these souls lifting off the planet, in quotes, off the planet and going into one. And that's when Om came back to me. So I said to Spirit, are you saying that when a soul crosses into the afterlife, that they create a sound like Om? And they said, yes. Souls crossing create a sound to go into oneness, just like when we chant Om. So I stayed there with my eyes closed. It's about 5 o'clock in the morning, and I had to get up and go pick up my daughter in New York. So there were a lot of thoughts ruminating in my head. Is the driveway icy? Am I going to have to defrost my windshield? But I stayed in what that gentleman from the non-physical world told me. And in that moment, I watched all of those thoughts in my head circling around me. But Donna's mind in that state was only in oneness. And I felt such a sense of peace. The thoughts were still there, but they were in such another zone, another plane of existence, another dimension. I had them because I didn't want to forget. I had to get up. I still had to go. But I wasn't, it's a different form of non-attachment to me because I've been practicing that for 20 plus years. This was a state of, if you were to take all of those sounds to go up to one, that's what I felt like I was in. I was suspended in this oneness in a different way. So then I had to practice that. So I say, okay, thank you. And I make my way up out of bed and do what I needed to do. And then I'm in my car and I'm driving and I'm thinking all of these things. And I said, Donna, let's practice. Let's practice what you just were taught this morning. So I did. I kept all those thoughts and I visualized them around me. And for my listeners, I'm opening my arms up around my head, but not in my head. So I became I don't want to say a soul. I want to say I became just this entity, just this Om-ness. I don't know how to describe it. And that's why I said to Tania, want to have a chat? I have something to share. And then I got busy with my daughter. I didn't do anything. And I came home after a couple of days and I went, oh my God, I forgot totally about what happened 2 days ago. And that's when I wrote everything down and I contacted Tania. Okay. I think I shared everything. Tania.
Well, I got major chills when you explained the idea about the oneness and the lifting up into it. I mean, I think our idea and perceptions that involve direction and spatialness, space time, it's all, that's all just for ourselves to orient ourselves around that. But yeah, the idea of merging into that oneness, I mean, it resonates, it makes sense to me. And that it creates a sound, and that sound is Om, the original sound of the universe. I think you're onto something.
It's fabulous the way it all pulled together in like 3 days and how it completed the circle by that flash dream. That was a beautiful explanation. Thank you. That's why I called you into this. And I heard what you said about you can't explain it, because many times as I was explaining to you, I said, this isn't the right word. This isn't the way to explain it, because it's a feeling, it's a sensation, it's a vibration, it's a place I'm in now more often than not, because of recognizing that everything I think, say, do, feel creates Om. Yes?
So it's that concept that we can be everywhere at the exact same time. That, the idea is that we are everywhere all the time, past, present, future. I mean, that's mind-boggling, but that seems to be the idea.
And the proof of this, because you and I have spoken about this in many podcasts on yours, of past, present, and future, is right here with us. And that's what the afterlife is. The afterlife is every part of us streaming continuously around us as the sound of Om.
I have a good friend, and I'm going to do a podcast about this as well, who continues to validate and share that the belief is that it's all you, it's all us. We are all things, everything at the same time. So there is no distinction, there is no separation. Again, supporting the theory of oneness.
Which is why it's so challenging to use words to explain what I just felt.
Yeah.
I hesitate so much here because I'm searching for that human explanation, like you said. There is not a human explanation for this. There is an understanding and a knowing, then there is an experiencing it.
Yeah, I've said that many, many times. But I mean, of course, we're going to try and at least get an idea as close as possible to this ephemeral thing.
Right. We could say it. We've had experience, both you and I have had deja vu, have had timeline shifts, have had all of this, all setting ourselves up for even more and more understanding of it as an awareness, this awareness of everything. This flash dreaming, though, I know we've talked about it. What did we name it? Like, not hypnagogic, but epigonic state.
Well, there's the two states, falling asleep and waking up. So is that what you're talking
Yeah,
about?
usually happens at night, but then
Yeah, so
mine
when
happen in the morning.
so I think when you wake up, it's hypnagogic, and when you fall asleep, it's hypnopompic.
Okay, there it is. Okay.
For those states, yeah.
That was the closest you and I have gotten to explaining what it is, but I love that I'm communicating with it now, not just letting it happen and like looking at, oh, that's a nice image. Well, that's nice too. Well, that's nice too. What is the meaning? It led me to this moment. I love it. I love it. And I am going to put this out to, the podcast. It'll also be on YouTube because it's the vibration of us speaking that is also Om.
It's a good message. I think it's good to remind people that everything you think, say, do, feel, and think equally has an effect in the world.
Yep. Not only on ourselves, but the world, the vibration of it. Be the vibration you want to see in the world. Yep. With that being said, Tania, our 2023 purpose is in.
That time.
Tania and I spoke about this last year together, about the 2022 purpose. I'm just going to state it and not talk about it, but I'm going to state what it is because it has everything to do with what we just talked about. And what it is the year of paying attention to ourselves. Not just self-care, or eating better, but how, what you just said, how the awareness of everything that we are affects ourselves and everybody else. Pay attention to ourselves, our thoughts, our actions, our deeds, our words, our Om-ness. I don't know if that's a word, but I'm going to coin it. Om-ness. What a wonderful way to leave this planet as a human, to create a sound as we leave this planet. Have you heard that before?
I haven't.
It was wonderful after they said it that I saw a couple more people's flashes of their faces, and their faces were one of joy. No one was suffering. Every face had a smile and a vibration of joy for going where they were going. The only closing thoughts I have are take a deep breath, everybody. Take a deep breath and keep taking deep breaths. Tania, would you like to close us out with anything?
I think just this is a really strong and important message. And I'm grateful that you're sharing these experiences with people, because I think it's these specific experiences that you're having that you keep sharing. I know people are getting things out of it. I know that's when I was on my search of understanding of experiences that were happening to me over the years. It was these stories, the minutia, that really helped me piece things together. So I had a better understanding of what was happening to me. So I appreciate it.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. Tania, tell my listeners about what you do and your podcast.
Yeah, I host Life Continuing podcast about consciousness in the afterlife, and it's 2 years now. I'm in season 5, so we're rolling it out and really excited for this season. So there's a link that you can connect to the podcast apps and take a listen and see if there's anything that resonates.
I love that. And I was on Tania's podcast way before I started my own podcast. And I'm grateful that I said to her the other day, I forget how I put it, but I felt like you gave me permission to do my podcast. I felt like the way you presented yours and the way you accept your acceptance of your guests, I felt that I had that I could do that. You, again, you gave me that permission to say, yes, let's do this.
We all have things to offer the world, so why not offer it in whatever form?
Thank you. Thank you so much. Happy New Year, everybody.
Happy New Year.